Okay.
Brad, did you get Luke Alexander's text about
Yes.
selling cookie dough? If anyone would
I
like
didn't see what it was selling.
it's selling cookie dough.
Our intern?
Yes.
Summer kid? For what, basketball?
Yeah, for basketball season. If anyone wants the link, I can pass it
I don't need any cookie dough.
I liked it.
Yes. Me too.
See, I've hardly looked at it.
No.
Should have.
Sorry.
Changed the stuff.
She did good.
Okay, it's 6:30. Let's call the meeting to order.
Right on time?
Yeah, Brad, you're right on time.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all for coming. Let's get the meeting started. Our goal is always to try to do this in an hour. So, first thing, call to order. There, Joe, you wanna run off the name? I've got it. Okay, Mayor Brad Bender, I am here. Ward 1, John Post. Ward 2, Jeff Walker.
Here.
Ward 3, Amber Fields.
Here.
Clerk Treasurer, Mary Jo Bender.
Here.
Town Legal Counsel, Brad Cage.
President?
And Volunteer Fire Department, Assistant Chief, Tyler Morris. Okay, thank you. One thing is, since we're streaming the meetings and recording them now, if you have anything to say, please come up to the chair and announce your name, and then it shows up and it's on the record that way. Second item, approval of the minutes from October the 9th.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm going to jump out of order a little bit because I asked Reedy Group to be here, and they said that I told them I'd put them first on the agenda to discuss the wastewater rate study. So if you would like to begin, come on up, please, and announce yourself.
I do have 5 copies. Would anyone like to look at it while I'm going through it?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I sent it out to everybody and printed one for me as well. But
I do have 2 others.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's
Alright. Caitlin Schaefer, Reedy Financial Group. Nice to meet all of you. So basically, we're engaged to do a sewer rate study. I'm going to walk through the report as quickly as I can and still make sense of it. But I won't get too down into the details and drag this on for you guys. So, first page, This is the test year that we are testing to see if your rates are sufficient or inefficient for what we think the utility needs. So we used a year in 2024. We did not use a fiscal year for purposes of we didn't really think we needed to. And it's a lot harder for the clerk treasurer to have to get half of the year. So that is why we use year in 2024. So you will see that, revenues, expenses, and what your net income loss was for year in 2024. You then have your adjustments column. Basically, these are the adjustments after our analysis has been completed, what we believe the adjustments should be for your operation and maintenance, and we'll get into how that flows through for the overall utility here in just a second. And so then the very far right column, you have a forecasted at present rates. That's what we believe your net income loss will be, which of course you can see that it's growing. The loss is growing. Again, as we move our way through, it'll make a little bit more sense. So page 2, these are a list of our adjustments that we are recommending. So the first adjustment is to salaries and wages. What we did, of course this is open for discussion, this is not final at this point. We listed any employee that is paid from the sewer utility. We classified what department they are classified in. We looked at the 2024 salary since that's our test year. And then we made an assumption that you guys did a 3% increase for 2025, and you're going to do a 3% in 2026. Now I know that you said maybe that's not exactly how it played out, and I'm happy to make those adjustments. And then we break it out on how those individual employees are broken out through the town, the sewer, and the water. The adjustment, of course, is for the total of the sewer. So we are recommending that we do an adjustment for the 4,300 to get us to that 16,338 that we believe to need to come from the sewer utility. Adjustment 2 is just the employer's share of FICA based on that adjustment to salaries and wages. Adjustment 3 is your contractual services. You have a lot of capital expenses, capital in nature, and my comment is that these should be paid from a different area called extensions and replacements or depreciation. Best practices is to set up a new fund. I know a lot of people don't like to just keep creating funds, but again, best practices and how it should be is you should have a depreciation fund where all capital expenses come from. And how money gets into that fund is we do a monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual transfer from your operating fund to your extensions and replacements fund. So kind of keep that in mind as I'm going through this. Now, for that adjustment, you guys, again, pay a lot out in capital in comparison to all of your other expenses that you have. Adjustment 4 is the same nature. It was just a different line item code, so we keep them separately. Adjustment 5 is for your USDA loan. You only had a partial year liability in there, so we upped it to the full liability for whatever that may be for the next 10 years. Page 3, you'll see is the depreciation transfer. This is the revenue side of getting that money into the ENR fund from the operating fund. There's a calculation to it. You do your utility plant and service. We used what was recorded on Gateway. You subtract out land, and we also subtracted out what our estimate to be for the Indian Hills grinder pumps. You'll also see why we're doing that here in a second. But that calculation is, you have your depreciable assets, you have a composite depreciation factor set by statute, and you have a transfer that can be done annually at any pace, whatever the utility is comfortable with. So, the next page is basically the capital improvement plan that we put together. It's pretty basic, only because we didn't have an extreme breakdown of your current capital. We were provided an excellent list for the last 5 years, but not for the total, so we weren't gonna really dig in too far for that. So basically, we have the grinder pumps, and it's separated because you'll see I am recommending a very specific surcharge just to this Indian Hills users. Again, as we progress through the report, you'll see how all of this meshes together. Then the rest of that 47,519 is from the calculation of the prior page, and that's all from operating fund to your depreciation fund, E&R, that we recommend you setting up. So, page 5, 6, and 7, that's just your amortization schedule. It's just common to include that. We do not need to go over it for any reason. And then we have page 8. So this is kind of bringing everything together to show you what your rate increase should be. So you have your test year adjustment and your pro forma. So up at the top, the annual revenue requirements, that's all expenses that the utility will experience. So you have your O&M, which is what we went through on the very first page. You have your max debt service, that's your USDA loan. You have your debt service reserve, that's just a requirement when you have an SRF or a USDA loan that you have to set aside so much annually. And then your extensions and replacements amount as well. So, of course, you're in 2024, you're not capturing everything that we just discussed in all of those in the prior pages. So, 184,745, that's your total liability for your sewer to fund. If you compare that to your current annual revenues, you obviously have a deficit. And that is 57,822. What that looks like, since you do have a small customer base, it's a large percentage. So 45.56%. So moving on to the next page. This is, we like to have these projected cash progressions so that you don't feel like, okay, you're getting a rate study done, it'll be good for a year, but then what? So we like to really proof that out so you guys can see, okay, this is the year that we're in, year in 2025, this is what we project you to be at. And then in 2026, you'll notice we're doing a rate increase, and we are going to, we're proposing that you do a two-phase. Give your customers a little bit of a heads up that, hey, you do have this large rate increase, but we're trying to divvy it up in 2 different phases to help you out. And then after that, what we have talked about is, so after that rate implementation is done, you're basically at ground zero, where you should be today. That's getting us there. So after that, we're also including a 1.5% annual rate increase every year from here on out. Now, typically, of course, I don't write ordinances, but the way that typically it's structured is we do the rate ordinance, and we obviously do the 45% that we're looking at, and then we have like an added piece that says we are going to also do 1.5% annually, but you have this clause that says we're going to review it every year and make sure that it's still necessary. We're not going to just keep tacking on 1.5% if it's not necessary. Now, does that really need to be an outside firm doing a rate study? I wouldn't think so. I feel like you can see if your net income and your net loss, because you can compare where you're at. That's why we gave you this 10-year plan. If you're on track with this and your expenses are matching up what's in here, then you need to do that 1.5%. If you need more, then that's when you need to do another rate study, if that makes sense.
So if we were to call out instead of 1.5%, 3% though,
yeah.
If we did less, we wouldn't have to do another rate study. If we did more, we would.
Correct. If you ever are trying to justify more, that's when you want to do another rate study.
But if we were calling out a little higher, 2%,
Yep.
then we'd have a little more buffer, because costs are going up a lot higher than 1.5%.
That's what we did with the water, is we put in 2%.
always have every year. We have an option.
And we have an opted into it, yeah.
Yeah, because I know inflation is about 3.6.
About 3, so 1.5.
Yeah. Exactly, absolutely. But when I did put 3 in there, it looks a little worse, so.
Oh, I'm sure, I understand.
Yeah, I'm happy to do whatever, but that's kind of what we worked in here. And the expenses, that side we did a 2% increase inflation. So, the 1.5 does keep up with the 2% because of the larger amount of revenue. So, that is that. Now, page 10, this is your actual schedule of present and proposed rates and charges. You have your current rate structure on here, and then again, we're doing a phase 1 and a phase 2. There really isn't too much to talk about that because it's going to be a 50-50 phase in. We're not doing like 10% and then 90, anything like that. It's just broke down the middle. If you want to see it higher in phase 1, less in phase 2, we can do that as well. But the cash flow on that prior page proves out that you guys are still fine if we do it 50-50 like this. The big thing I do want to highlight on here is this proposed surcharge for the grinder pump. So what we did is we looked at what a replacement cost for a grinder pump was in 2024, because that's our test year. And it's that $3,359. We also did an annual number of replacement pumps of only 10, but when we got the data from the town, that's pretty close on what you guys have been doing. Now, I don't know if you've been holding back because of funds and you would prefer to do more replacements. That I don't know, but also it's going to impact this surcharge, and I don't know how large we want this surcharge to be proposed at. So basically, it's a $40 per bill that Indian Hills would be looking at, in addition to just their normal rate. Now, we did talk about, Brad and I, you can give them this option. I don't know if you even want to give them the option. I'm just telling you what other units are doing, because grinder pumps are kind of a headache at this point, and rates are getting outlandish. How can we get rates down? Is kind of the idea. So they give them the option, okay, do you want the liability when your grinder pump goes out, you have to deal with it, you have to pay for it, you're on your own? Or would you prefer to just pay the $40 a month? Yes, it's annoying. I mean, there's so many words of what that $40 surcharge will be to an individual, but also you're just putting it, and then the responsibility is still on the town. Now, you can give them that option, but it can't be, well, Joe doesn't want to do it and Betty does. It has to be all or nothing. So that's kind of, do you want to even give them the option, or do you just want to tell them, hey, it's now going to be $40 because your grinder pumps are really hurting us. So that's the only way to make it fair. It's not right to put those 70 grinder pumps on all of your customers.
We don't have 70.
That's what we calculated.
Oh, okay. I was thinking-
It's 40.
Well, there's 57
57.
homes there, and then 2 or
Three
3 of them
share.
share a grinder pump. I think there's maybe 55.
Okay.
We can double check.
Yeah.
Yep, and then we
double check
can-
that.
Yeah.
There's some homes that are considered on the Indian Hill side that don't have grinder pumps, I believe, those ones on 7.
Maybe that's what we ended up doing, adding those to it.
Get you that for sure.
Okay.
We also have some others, but we don't, as near as I know, like Josh Shaw has one, and it's his entirely, not the town's. Okay, that's correct.
Same with
up at,
that home stuff.
yeah, coming up the highway on the north side,
Okay.
near the Irish.
Okay. So yes, we can update that with however many you tell me that there is. By all means, that's an easy fix. The rest of this is just historical data, income statements, and your actual fund balances. One thing I do want to bring to attention is kind of that depreciation calculation that we are using right now. It is calculating us to basically put back 47,000 annually. When I look at your historical spending for capital, it's nowhere near that. So we can back that off quite a bit if you're comfortable with it. There has to be a comfort level. Again, I don't know. So in 2025 so far, it was 23,000. 2024 is 18,000. So again, it's nowhere near 47.5, but it's wherever you guys are comfortable. And I wanted to let you guys know that that's our first place that if you want to see that rate go down, that's our first place of messing with the numbers.
Could the surcharge also be set up in a different, like if we said 40 is too much, 20 makes sense? Could we, I'm just asking, do we have any room on that to make?
The room there is how many do you think you will replace annually?
Okay.
So if you've done 10 a year the last 3 years, which was pretty on pace, you've replaced 30 of your 50, and they're about a 10-year life. So at that point, we can do like an amortization of what an average could look like.
The only thing I feel like with charging them the $40 is there are people in Indian Hills that have never had their grinder pump replaced, and there are other people that have had it replaced 3-4 times. You know, so.
I know, it's just when she first brought this up, I know how this has been a subject for so long. And remember, you looked into banners that maybe things could be set up differently or
Yeah.
transferred, and when she told me this is a method to at least recoup some of the costs, we don't have a regular schedule that we're doing these, it's, every one of them's an
When they
emergency.
blow up.
Yeah.
It's not a regular maintenance schedule of doing 10 a year, it's just, might not be any next year, it might be
Right.
20, yeah, it's all just a matter. But
And-
like you said, yes, some have never been touched.
Yeah.
And my argument to that would be, well, of course I've never argued with any of them, but it will eventually need to be replaced.
Yeah.
And my thought for you guys specifically is you would create a whole nother fund. Again, don't come at me that I'm requesting or recommending that you're setting up 2 new funds. But if you do and you make these, when they pay that surcharge goes into this other fund. And you guys can have a policy at the end of the year. If there's so much sitting in here, we'll do a refund. That's also a billing nightmare. So I understand what I'm saying, and I know how that affects every single position, but that is a spin on things that you can add in the ordinance as well. Or after 5 years, if you don't want to do a refund every year, because again, I understand how that affects the billing software. Every 5 years, whatever that balance is, you can disperse back. Something like that, it's just a thought.
I'm just glad you brought that forward as an idea, because again, I know everybody's been challenged by this idea for a long time.
Yeah.
I just feel like, okay, so all those folks up there, their bill's gonna go up $51 basically with the rate increase.
Yeah.
That's not gonna go over very well.
Oh my goodness, but,
I mean,
I was gonna look it up today. Do you remember when the last rate increase was?
2016, I think.
I could
It's been a long time.
yeah.
Yes.
And it
It's been
didn't,
almost 10 years.
and it didn't have any escalation year for year, so we haven't had a rate increase
For sewer, we have on
For
the
sewer,
water side, yeah.
in 10 years.
But we didn't implement the water line. It was
Well, we still increased it. at
We
the
increased
base.
it that first year, but not, we had the option. after.
Yeah, you haven't done the escalation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wayne?
2024 is a pretty catastrophic year, though, when it comes to sewer maintenance. If you remember, that's when we have our Ripley Street kind of scenario. So when you look at 2024, that's just a quick snapshot. When you look at the our main sewer substations goes down, and we're paying, what are we paying, $4,000 or $5,000 a month at one point to maintain a substation that we then we
We bought an
purchased.
emergency pump about 14,000.
Yeah, we replaced it, so there's a lot in that 2024 snapshot. So on that side of the rate study, 2024 is different than the other years. So, but the grinder pump, that's all that's.
But you're talking specifically about capital purchases outside of Indian Hills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so those are separate.
I think,
Those were
I think
big.
they just got Indian Hills, because if you look down through those, charges, those are all grinder pumps right there.
Yes, but to my comment about the 47,500 that would be transferred annually to the ENR or depreciation
That
fund,
would include,
that would cover
Everything.
And we looked back from 2020 to 2025 and took that average of capital expenses.
okay.
And that's where I'm saying the 47.5 does seem a little steep to me. So we can back that off. The highest year you guys ever had was 2023, and it was 33,000.
That is quite high for one, with the new work that's going in right now.
Right.
Right.
This should drop significantly for some of those large. So maybe that number needs to be looked at.
And by all means, we could even make it to this average. We can, because I do like to have something concrete. I don't want to just say, let's just do 30 grand and not have anything to back it up on. But I do think it would make a lot of sense to just do the average of the last 6 years.
And remind me where the average is listed for those areas.
They are not
It's
in there
in
because I didn't have them before I sent everything out.
Okay.
So I will add it and
Okay.
send out a new draft.
Sounds good. Certainly not overall.
And I do hear you on the surcharge topic, and that's why a lot of units are just giving them the option. You either pay this every month or you don't, and if you don't, you are on the hook. We will not do anything except, well, nothing. You do nothing.
Well, the problem I have with that is that we have a few of them that are shared.
Yeah.
So if we put them on the hook, then that means
We'd have to buy them
Yeah.
sections, right?
two homeowners would have to figure out how, I guess,
I think you have to put in,
the
you have
nightmare
to give
coming.
everybody their own,
Yeah.
and then go from there.
Yeah, you'd have to almost, yeah,
And there's
because,
some, maybe 3 or 4 that are shared,
I think there's
it's a lot.
yeah.
Two or
So basically you have to.
But all it takes is one.
3
Two people
immediately,
fighting
and then
about
go
it.
from
Yeah.
Well, I think what Mary Jo's saying is we'd go ahead and, if that was an option that they wanted to consider, we'd go ahead and install. them.
Install
there.
new ones.
3, yeah.
They wouldn't have to fight, they would just have to decide, we'd have to decide how that works.
Well, like she said, it's either all or none.
Right, and that's,
Yeah.
yes,
So it's
and
not
that's,
like we can give them the option and use it.
Right.
no, what I'm saying is like, if for some reason we made the decision and Indian Hills folks wanted to own their pumps, like, then we
Then we need
install
everybody to
three,
have their
everyone would
own
have their own
individual.
move arms, yeah.
You're probably not gonna get unanimous consent.
Oh, absolutely not.
No. We have to decide.
Yeah.
And then you have the issue of somebody who just had a new one installed, and then
Right.
somebody else has one that's
Right.
20 years
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
riding on
Yeah,
a
no,
rubber bands and scotch tape, and,
they'll have to replace this.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I'm telling you, that's the way it is with any utility that's done something like this.
Hmm.
Because like I work for a phone company, and they done the same thing, Eventually they just said, okay, this is yours. Well, you had one business that might have had one, had a new system installed, and you had another business that had one that's there 30 years.
And it just is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
It's unfortunate for the
Yeah.
ones who didn't get one out of the town, but
Yeah,
it's just that date is when you say it disconnects. Ownership disconnects, sorry, that was the wrong term.
the service will still be there.
Yes, yes.
Well, I think we've got a lot of good information and maybe some adjustments to think through.
Mm-hmm.
steps, or what next steps does the board want to take? I'd like to see it keep moving, believe me, because
Yeah.
we're running in the red.
Yes.
Very badly.
Well, if I could speak, if you're gonna move towards a public hearing, you have to figure out what proposed rates you wanna have. So we can put that in the notice. That's, in general, that's the next step. To plug in what you think that should be, or adopt what's been given to you, and then you can schedule a public hearing. But that's what you have to do. Because before we have that, we have to show what the proposed rates are.
I don't know if anybody's ready to adopt these.
No, I'm not suggesting, no, and
No, I know.
I didn't suggest that, right?
No, I'm
Right.
saying that we have to,
Yeah.
um,
Some point you just have to say, this is what we think the proposed rate should be, and then give it to me, and I do the notice. You know,
and then we have to have a public hearing and,
you can vote on it at the public hearing.
okay.
You can, again, you'll have a public hearing, there will be a proposed ordinance, and as with any other ordinance, there can be a unanimous vote to waive the rules and consider it on first reading, like I think you have a couple of ordinances tonight that you'll probably do that, so it'd be the same. And usually that's what's happened. There's been a public hearing, the notice says, after the public hearing, the board will vote on it or continue it to a later date, and most of the time, there's just been a vote.
Well-
In fact, as long as I've been here, it's a long time,
Yeah.
on any proposed rate ordinances, I'm not sure we've ever had anybody come.
I think that surcharge brings some
To
people
object,
out.
but
I don't
We
really
did
like
in the
that.
water rate study.
Did we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Larry
Okay, I
Jennings
didn't remember
will
that.
be
We
here.
had a handful of people.
Seems like to me, Brad, that every time they kind of water rates that.
Oh, really?
Haven't been necessarily people from Vernon.
It's been the Indian Hills, okay. I did not recall.
Because their rates are already higher though.
Yeah, well, yeah, because of the cost of service, so, yeah.
Yeah, they'll come up for air on that
I
one.
guess I just didn't think about it, or,
No, that's,
yeah.
well, I guess,
It's usually a couple people over there is the ones that usually.
Yeah.
oh, sure.
Are they the only ones that are considered outside city limits or outside town limits?
Yeah.
And maybe we factor that in and tell them that we're factoring that in, okay? You have, I think, is your outside surcharge 115%?
I don't remember how it's
Sounds
calculated.
That's the legal boundary, so unless you were grandfathered in, so I'm gonna assume it's 115. What we can do is take 15% off of that surcharge. Again, just ideas, if you guys are really struggling with that $40, let's take that difference in the inside and outside, let's apply that. That would help a little bit.
Well, I'm looking to you guys as to what I think more than anything, determine what kind of timeline we want to try to get this
Hmm.
enacted. And kind of go from there based on how much time you need to maybe make some adjustments and do some things to it. And then think through it again, and then, like you said, we need to,
Well, if you decide at a monthly meeting that you want to move forward with this and have the rates, we can do the notice, and it can be done in time for the next month's meeting.
I can have
this is
you,
November.
if you guys, very hypothetical, if you guys were wanting to do it in December, I could have this turned around, because again, I think I've touched on the areas that I believe are really the only areas that we can mess with the figures. I do think that will help a lot, especially that 47,000 number. And then if I apply that 15% to the surcharge, I think that is what it is. The only other option is we can disperse that entire cost of those grinder pumps to all of your customers. I do not recommend that
It's
at all.
happening now.
Exactly, I don't recommend it, I think it's unfair, unjust rates. But I have seen that it is done other places, I just don't agree with it. Just wanting to give you all of your
Yeah,
options.
it's not really truly cost of service.
Correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm,
Well, that's what it's been for
Yeah, oh, I know.
all these years.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
What's it cost to replace 10 of these a year?
that,
Up to $4,000 and pump.
Right there, around
Close to
There's about 4,000 pumps,
Yeah.
I didn't know how much, okay.
I mean, you know, they've just increased, I don't know about that one, like we just got for 7, but.
and I will be honest, if I have 70 in here, if you're telling me there's only 55, that $40 is just.
Yeah,
gonna be
I know
more.
there's not 70.
Yeah, so,
All right.
I think what I'd like, as far as information goes, I'd like to have the information that we've discussed, as far as the lower depreciation amount and what that means for the overall, rate. And then I'm interested in knowing including with or without that 15% taken off the surcharge, knowing what that number looks like with the right number of pumps and grinder pumps. And then, I mean, I hit the point where I wonder, like, I know we won't get a unanimous thought process out of Indian Hills because everyone's going to feel differently, but my question is, like, is there a strong consensus one way or another, and we don't know that? Like, would people prefer the surcharge, or would people prefer ownership of the grinder pump?
They're probably gonna say they'd replace it because they wouldn't have to put anything out up front.
But then, who's just, a lot of them
I
are
think-
rentals, and
Yeah, they're
Fair.
rentals,
Yeah, a lot of them are.
they're not going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
but the renter pays.
They
the
move
bill.
before they have to pay $4,000.
Yeah, and the thing with dispersing the money after, like, if there's money left over,
Mhm.
I don't.
that's
That's
a
a lot.
nightmare,
That doesn't seem
because they
practical.
they move in and out.
Yeah.
We don't know where they go.
yep, so then that really wouldn't work for you guys.
Yeah,
No, that one didn't seem practical.
no.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand, billing is a headache.
I think the rate increase for sure. I don't know what to do on the other.
Yeah.
And, so say a grinder pump does go bad, ownership has been transitioned to the owner now. What happens
If they don't.
If they don't.
if they're like, I'm not paying for this? What I don't
Well,
understand.
sewage back up.
Right, other than that, I don't really know.
Oh, yeah, there's too many issues.
That's why I feel.
So
like
many
it should be
issues.
hard
I mean,
to
they
do.
wouldn't have to go through the town to have it replaced. They
Right.
would be responsible to hire somebody.
And then the other thing is, like, we have people that get way behind on their bill, can't pay that, how are we gonna pay, you know? I don't
Yeah.
know. And then what do we do? Like, say they let it go and move out and, you know, then we have
Yeah.
to replace it.
Then we're
that's
stuck
definitely-
with the.
yes.
And that will happen.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the bad side of what I am proposing if you do relinquish power. And a lot of utilities do see that, unfortunately, when they relinquish, then they're foot with a lot of bills. Still, they're not really getting out of the expense.
I like the idea, I shouldn't say like, I understand the idea of the surcharge, and it makes good sense. I wish we could approach it that we could charge less,
Mhm.
as long as we didn't charge more. But, you know what I'm saying?
And we can even say we're only gonna, of course, you never know how many you're gonna replace.
Yeah, we don't know.
But if we're just wanting to try and implement some type of surcharge and we wanna get that down, let's apply the 15%. And let's say we'll only do 5 a year instead of 10. Just to get something, just to get some type of additional funds, because you're not getting anything right now. So why not try and get something if you're not comfortable with the full amount?
Okay.
Well, like that list I sent you, how we've replaced probably what, close to 30?
Yes, you've replaced a lot in the
So, I mean,
last
they're
couple years.
Over half replaced in the last,
So
just 3 years.
maybe
Not-
if we
that's
should
not
go
going-
down.
That's not even going
How
back.
many have been done this year, Mary Jo, do you know?
Most of them have been done, not a whole lot this year, but the
Not a
last
lot
2
this
years
year.
before that.
Mhm.
Well, I think I went back to 21 maybe.
Yes.
Whatever information.
22 you did 5, 23 you did 11, 24 you did 9, and then 2025 it just said you've done 1 so far. So,
But I think, yeah, the way I was trying to keep track of them, and it was close to 30 total, I think. wasn't it?
yes, I
Which is,
agree.
you know, that's
Out
a
of
lot.
55,
That's why it's been killing us.
Yes. And then if you
they're
don't
just
get
getting more expensive.
5, then it's still not holding, and if you have 7 the next year, you have it sitting. And that's why I really think it's important, if you are gonna have a surcharge on these very specific people, keep it in a separate fund.
Right.
Okay, would you like to have this complete for the December meeting? John?
Yeah, I'm fine. Question I guess I have instead of surcharge, I don't know if it would go in this ordinance or not, or maybe the ordinance, I'm afraid, we already have an ordinance made that if they, done something to us,
Yes.
approved it.
Yeah.
Yes, if they have done something that's caused the damage, that's been passed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If they, for example, put
If
a
we can
towel
prove
in
it.
and we can prove it,
Which is, you know,
we can charge for the repair.
yeah.
Okay, but that's already ordinance.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think
There
we
was
need-
one of those that got replaced within, 15 months of, yeah, because I looked at the, when I was doing the address.
I don't think that's come up as an issue
That was
yet.
Not
great.
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
And that could have just been a.
Since the public notice doesn't need to go out until 10 days prior, I can have you a new draft. You can circulate it, and if you have comments you wanna get back, let's run it like this. We can do that back and forth,
Okay.
not a number of times, because I think it gets convoluted at that point. But a couple of times we can go back to where you're comfortable with it, and then he can proceed with the notice. if you have
And
it.
keep in mind, we post it, we put it in the paper, and it also has to be mailed, the notice with all these proposed rates to the out-of-town users.
And,
That's why they're always here.
do we wanna do, if we do have questions or asked to run it different ways, do we wanna run that through Brad so you can consolidate any questions we have? I mean, I don't think we'll have a ton, but that way we're not bouncing back and forth a lot, or are we okay to just send our own?
It's okay to, yeah, don't
Okay.
worry about it.
I'm fine with that as well.
Okay.
As long
I can help
as
that
it's not
saying,
crazy.
yeah.
Alright.
10 different things, it'll be fine.
Okay.
And we'll try to figure out exactly how many pumps we have.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, but you said it has to be brought to the meeting and we vote, and then you advertise, correct? So we,
So we can vote in December and then.
December, then it starts the process.
Now, I can't be, I was gonna tell you tonight, I can't be at the December meeting,
Okay.
but you can get it to me right away.
Sure.
Mhm.
With the proposed rates, and then I can do the notice, and I usually can, done enough of them that we can have a template, I can get it going, and I have to remember how many times it has to run in the newspaper.
Sure.
I don't remember. It's a couple, I think, two or three, so I have to.
Plus what we have to send.
Plus what we have to send and post, yeah.
Well, if that's what the three of you are kind of thinking is December, why?
Well, the sooner
And
the
then,
better.
if you hear it in January, I mean, we can put a proposed effective date or effective on passage, either one,
But I'm,
That sounds like a good plan to me. I think.
okay,
get our-
if you
get our
guys feel that
information-
way, that's what I was trying to do. is
I'm-
give it- I mean, do we need a motion to do that at this point?
I know,
Or
I
is it just a
don't think so.
consensus that,
Just kind of consensus.
that
that,
we're
you know,
moving towards December?
Yeah.
Okay. December meeting, and the December meeting is,
I think it's the 11th.
Oh, it is.
That's what I could-
Yeah. It is.
yep, December 11th.
Now, our engagement only did 2 public meetings, this would be the first one, and then I would come to the public hearing. So I would not come to your December meeting,
I think that's fine.
Okay.
If you just give us all the updates
of course.
Mhm.
and let us know what's going on, I would think that would suffice.
All right, thank you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you. You've given us a lot of good information.
Yeah, and it's good to meet all of you.
Likewise.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you. Okay, we're go back to the agenda, petitions or comments by members of the public. I don't think we have anybody
Wayne
other
signed
than,
it.
I said
Well-
that I wish the park board, so.
we can go ahead if you'd like to,
Sure.
that way you can,
Yeah.
okay.
Wayne Zamora, Vernon Park Board, I'm just here to keep you up to speed. I think you'll talk about it here in a little while. We completed our rough draft for our 5-year park plan, and Brad will submit that tomorrow. There's still some, we know there's still some work that needs to be done, but we're hitting our deadline. We're really happy with the product that we have so far, and that'll be submitted in the morning, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep.
Great. So that's topic one. Topic two, the MHS grant that I closed out in October, so all of that is completely finished. That is what brought us the broadband here and the computer system and things like that. Part of that was promoting internet here, promoting access to high-speed internet for our rural and underserved community. Part of that was a flyer, so you might have noticed these on the table. It's a multifunctional flyer. It just talks about several things that we have going on here. It talks about the MHS program in itself, and it talks about some of the other things that we have here, the library and whatnot. So you'll see that is paid for by the MHS grant, and just really looking for efficient ways to circulate these. Yet we put them on the tables, we put them for people who are already coming here. The idea though is to get people to come here. So we're just putting them here. We have about 1,000 of these, and there's maybe a couple hundred out right now. Any suggestions? Happy to put them door to door, happy to put them in a mailer, whatever you guys think.
When we do the mailing for the rate increase, we could put this in there.
Put there
I think that-
as well. I think that'd be a great idea. So,
Because it's expensive to do a mailing.
yeah.
You could take some to the post office if you haven't already.
Oh, yeah.
Do that.
So, that really just wanted to say there's a closing reception for the MHS grant from 9 to 10 on December 10th. I attended it last year when we did the opening ceremony. Really, they want to hear your story. They want to see the results of the funds that they provided the community. So I'll be attending that on December 10th. Anyone else is welcome, unless someone just really wants to be the face of this project. I'm happy to hand that over.
Thank you.
So,
Wayne's done a lot of work. He put
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
all by himself and has done most of the work.
with the Building Socially Connected Communities Grant, we're finally, if you didn't know, we did receive some of the $25,000 to finish that project. Amber and I have just been working really hard on that, just wrapping it up. So we have furniture ordered, and I think Amber's going to talk about that here in a little bit, but we do have some furniture that we have ready for order. We've started thinking about future things with the park board as in programming. Part of our park board plan was to look at creative ways or other ways of how we plan to fund our improvements. And so talking about things like the patronicity opportunity, corporate sponsorships, donations from residents, fundraisers, and programming. With us having this facility that will soon be ready to roll, and we would like for it to be ready to go January 1, is programming and things like that, whether it's e-gaming or whether it's certain activities where there's a small fee. And when I say fee, like $10 or $15 for an event. Those are some things that we'd like to have ready for you guys just to approve with the park board by our December meeting, and then have those for you guys at your December meeting.
Can we talk about furniture?
Yes.
Okay, so we had a $13,500 budget for the furniture. And of course, we went to look at it and we couldn't get within that. I think it ended up being, 16,000. And Wayne said, well, if the town can't come up with the difference, that he would make a donation, but I don't think that's fair. He already bought the rugs. You bought the rugs in here, the curtains in here. You just made so many donations, I don't think that's fair. So it's like $2,300. Can the town come up with the difference of the furniture? I mean, what do you guys think?
I think we should.
I think we should too.
Yeah.
And we did scale back a little bit. Just
We did scale
like
back.
The cost of things like furniture in the past year just gone up. And I thought that was a little high when I did the original budget. We tried to keep it local. Like, we could probably go online and get something similar within the budget, but we tried to use a local vendor.
We used the furniture and things, and we gave him the information that we had to buy the stuff online, so he tried to match that.
And he really did come down on pricing of their normal pricing with commercial grade. He does the public spaces at Columbus Regional Hospital. He does the public spaces at our senior housing facility. He does public spaces for multiple universities here. And so he gave us a commercial product that should last years and years and years. And so we did go check out some of his products that's of similar what we were interested, similar quality, and it still looks in great shape even 10 years later. So we think this is an investment of not something that's going to be ruined in a year or two. And that commercial grade product is kind of what tipped the scale a little bit for us. But even still, if the town wants to do something, I'm happy to still donate to donate.
What would you think if we took the difference out of the seated phone? It's got the most money in it, that's why I say that. General fund, we could do that if the bill comes in next year. We're getting really close on that one. Of course, we have rainy day, well, we can't use rainy day fund. Seated, we have some money in donations, but, some of that's gonna go toward the sign whenever it gets delivered. With the gift fund, riverboat, any of those we could use. Bless you.
My next, on top of this, after we get some programming here set up, it's my goal to work in the next month to visit some of the other community centers, because I think they do some things that we're not doing right now. And I've pressed the park board that we need to make a decision here in December on advertising. If you go to the Aurora's Community Center, and it's very similar to here, it's a early 1900s gymnasium that has some classrooms that they have set up with a workout room and some other things. They do corporate sponsorships annually. I think for us to tap into some opportunities like that, we want to go January 1 to December 31st. And this is the time to strike right now. I'd like to meet with EDC to get some information with their Placer AI system to see how much traffic we have here. And then that can be appealing to vendors who might want to sponsor an event or simply just sponsor the facility. I know that they some other places collect around $10,000 in just corporate sponsorships, signage, things like that. I'm not sure if we can get to that, but I think getting half of that would be a goal. Not only that, but getting sponsors for certain programs. So I think this, even though this is a little bit upfront, I think after we have the product done, we can tap into some of those things.
Well, back to your thought, as to which account we had. 2,500 set up for the park board, and I don't think we spent 100. We spent, never mind.
Didn't we use that as
I think we did.
or like
Yes.
taking care of the facilities?
In terms of, yes, I think.
Anyway,
Anyway,
that's how
Seems like we always hit seed, and I think if we take this out, the river
with the parks money? Cause we've only spent $175 on there.
That's what I thought looking at.
204, Fund 204,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
we've
I
only
thought
spent,
we were supposed to take some of that.
I didn't think we had spent it,
Wages out of it, I thought.
but I don't know why it's not 2,500.
well, because you get the disbursement in June and December, so we haven't gotten the other half.
Okay.
That's fine, that's what I understood. Well, anyway, John mentioned Riverboat.
Everybody's got
And remind me of the
17,000.
difference, 2,300?
It's $2,300 that we're looking for,
Okay.
and we actually got a little bit of riverboat money this year.
Surprising.
Yeah, we got $1,300, so the balance in the riverboat fund is $17,847.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve covering the difference in the furniture purchase from the riverboat fund.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then, I think that's it. The last thing, since I think it's already in effect that we haven't been scheduling anything on Wednesdays, really for this to be a gathering place for the community, and that's what, some of these projects are designed to do, is to create a communal environment. I'd like to set up we haven't dispersed these because really we needed like open gym hours. So Wednesday's supposed to be our open gym, and I had to put something on here, and I was in a time crunch, so I put 3 to 9. But what I've talked to the park board about is about doing just a rotation schedule where we have just one volunteer on Wednesday from 3 to 9, just to be on site. And each one of our park board members taking a rotation, and to see if the town board and mayor or a couple other volunteers. So that way it's not overwhelming for any one person, but you might volunteer one Wednesday and then may not be on the schedule to volunteer until 2 or 3 months later. I'd be happy to do the first. I'd like to get this started and advertise, especially with the winter months here. Holiday breaks coming up, so I'd like to start this in December, and we would be happy to do the first 2 Wednesdays, but start getting it out there that it's a place for people to come, and it's open gym hours for basketball or walking or pickleball or book club or whatever. We do have a new book club here in town too. But those type of things, I'd offer to be to start this off until we can get our volunteer schedule implemented. So.
Do you want the volunteer hours 3 to 9?
I think it's good set hours for kids, people to come here right after school, or people to.
So you want one person to cover that 6 hour?
Yeah,
It might be easier if you get like 3 hours and 3 hours.
Could be.
Mhm.
Yeah, open for.
I
Yeah,
think that's a good idea.
I think we can just vary it based on when people are able to, like 6 hours for some folks, and then if people want to tag in 3. Then,
Sure.
yeah.
I mean, I like the idea, and it falls in well as we get the gaming and everything set up too, because we've kind of talked about we might need some supervision going with that as well.
And we're working right now, if you remember, we have those gaming stations, e-gaming stations. We're working with the library to set those up with the same type of safeguards, same type of accounts, and things like that. So some of it is some of these gaming things you have to set up with like some sort of credit card, but then as soon as you set it up, you can take that off. So there's no financial data in there. And most of the games they do are free games, and so it's not costing them that.
And they'll put all the guards on so the kids can't go to crazy websites and
Yeah.
stuff.
So that's good. We're using all the guardrails that the public library uses. All
Same thing the library does.
Love it.
Other than that, that's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You got 3 minutes. You're trying to stay under an hour.
Cool, thank you.
So anything else from me?
Just since we talked about it, since we talked about it earlier, the date for the tree is December 5th, and it's all been discussed that it's going to be in the gym here instead of outdoors. And
So I guess
December
on that
5th.
topic, yeah, December 5th, it's a Friday.
What
We
time?
won't be here.
We haven't set a time, and we haven't.
this,
Okay, I can't do
the
it.
date was already set up long ago. I just wanted to
There was a
make
gym
sure
like,
I
I
know.
think last year on that date, so,
We may not be here, but again, it's been set up. And
I can't be here that day. I could do it during the day, but not that evening.
I think we'll be in town.
okay.
You're in charge of the tree.
We won't be here on Saturday.
We potentially could move it, that was a day we thought we'd set it.
It's been in the calendar for a long time, I know that.
I don't think you get Hoyt's coming to do it.
No, I don't think so either.
It's usually a handful of
Just
people.
saying, it's already been posted.
Although it will be more attractive inside.
Do you know what time it's posted
I
for?
didn't know.
We always did like right after, because we had daylight to worry about.
Yeah.
We've done it
Yeah.
at like 4:30 or 5, and,
I mean, if we do it, I would make the proper children.
yeah, it's okay for me, I'm just happy to do that.
It's just, that's fine, I just know we can't. But,
To be
It just says all day in the calendar.
To be
We could do
clear,
it earlier, yeah.
who's sourcing the trees? The park board working on that? Do we need to work on
Yeah,
that?
that's what we're working on.
Okay, just making sure that's taken care of.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get some specifics, to make sure we have
Yeah.
things here and ready to roll.
So we need to have decorations and that sort of stuff
I think we
here.
have a lot of those
We do.
here, and,
Some of them were broken.
some of them, crazy cat.
There was some crazy cats that got in the tree last
Crazy
year.
cats last year. But yeah, that's something, and I think it's, we're open, I think we just try to plan a year in advance,
Mhm.
so I think, it's whatever works for the majority.
Leave it up to you guys.
If you wanna do it, does it have to be a Friday? Friday seems like it might be.
I thought the next weekend, is that when North Vernon has?
No, it's actually the weekend of the 5th, isn't
I
it?
think theirs is the same weekend.
Yeah.
But I'm
So
thinking,
it's the
could you do it
6th,
like
it's
on
like
Wednesday?
Saturday though.
So we do that as one of our first.
Yeah, it's, they're
Wednesdays
supposed to
of
be mostly
December.
Saturday.
Because
So
before
you
we
guys
decorate the
pick a
tree,
date?
and then we would also
Do the
decorate.
flip.
Oh, I can do the 5th, never mind.
What I'm saying is, if that's a Friday and it's the same day that North Vernon's doing, could we do it on?
No,
There's-
North Vernon's is on Saturday.
Most of their
Oh,
stuff is
okay.
on Saturday. They'll have stuff open Friday to walk through, like the
I'm saying,
festival
could
trees
we,
stuff.
could we do this as the first Wednesday thing to do in December? Do it on the third?
That's also a great idea.
I mean, I don't have a baby and so, but sure.
What?
I'm flexible.
Yeah, but that's a very good idea if we're open.
That's
Just
a
to
change
kind of
in the
get a
Yeah.
kickoff.
Yeah. I think we should tag team that one.
But we're getting close on time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that'd make a good idea to,
Okay.
I can be here that day too. I didn't think I could, but I
that's the
could.
3rd.
The third.
The third or the 5th? I
The
thought it was
third.
the
Oh,
5th.
well, I said if you wanted
She
to
said
do it
the
that
Wednesday.
Wednesday as a kickoff,
Oh.
like for open
That's
gym
not
hours.
Yeah, we have book club from 5 to 6, but, so we're gonna be here. I mean,
We'll be
so
here.
we
We're
can
gonna
just-
be here
we
anyway,
can
yeah.
just-
Do it at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, our
Okay.
book club can help decorate.
On the 5th?
That's true.
Okay, what do we
Yeah.
decide? What do we decide? Sorry.
3rd.
The third.
Thursday.
December the 3rd at 6 o'clock.
Wednesday.
I can make Anna really sad, but that'll work.
Well, just get the word to the park board, and I don't know who else to, I mean, again, I'm not gonna, I don't know who else to
I'm
tell.
so connected to our social media, I just like to get it out there for people.
Mhm.
Because we
Okay,
can have some,
please do.
Yeah, people.
Boy Scouts have come to help decorate before, and
Okay.
a few residents,
Great.
things like that.
And I think being indoors, we might see more people.
Yeah.
Who wanna come
Yeah.
to this space.
Great. Okay,
Okay.
All right, thanks.
thank you.
I have more of these too, so if you, I'll get you a box.
Yeah, we can do some more.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
It's okay at all.
You leave after an hour.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go out of order though, and let Ty will
Yes.
come
Yeah.
up. Do you have anything? Okay.
He didn't give me any, so.
Oh, well, you're welcome to stay then, but if you wanna go, that's
I've been here an hour
It seemed,
Well-
it seemed like the bazaar, can I ask a question? It seemed like the bazaar went pretty well. What about the breakfast last weekend?
Yeah, we, brought in $734 profit
Okay.
from breakfast. And then, the bazaar was 600 and something overall.
Good.
I did have a question though.
Sure.
They were wanting to use our internet from the station for the locks at the restrooms at the commons.
I was involved in that.
Where are we at with that?
It's done, it's installed. Our locks are not working at the commons yet, but everything is done
Right,
at the
but
firehouse.
that's what I mean for the firehouse side. Cause I don't know, I haven't been told that anybody's been there or.
Oh, they were there about a week ago today,
Oh, okay,
and it was done in about the afternoon.
okay.
And, yeah, it's all been set up. I'm trying to think of the guy's name who was there and let us in, and of course, Steve, I talked to him about it some time back. But it's all done.
Perfect.
Everything's taken care of. It won't put any additional time or fee or money and anything at all onto the fire department.
Right.
It's a separate little router
Oh, okay.
and an antenna on the far end of the building and an antenna down at the
Right.
commons. It's not connecting with the locks at the commons yet, but the Wi-Fi.
So did
part is.
they- I told Steve to let me know to be there, cause I'm the IT guy for the department.
Oh!
So, like, did they split the incoming signal? Did they put in new wire, separate wire?
I couldn't tell you. They brought in different equipment, I know.
Right,
He said it wouldn't take anything away, because we're not gonna allow any streaming at the commons.
right,
It's only for these locks.
yes,
It's nothing like we're all of a sudden gonna have it open to anybody else.
Right.
And I can get you the passwords and everything for it if you need them.
shouldn't need it, it's its own signal and stuff, I don't want anybody to have access to it except you guys,
Okay.
just to keep it locked down and.
I wish I'd known, yeah, I'd let you know, but,
Yeah.
Is there anything you need to know about how it was,
yeah,
like the specifics of the installation that's important for you? Okay.
okay,
He said they got their own router, so that was the only thing, because
yes.
you typically, when you bring in a line and then you split that line, your signal gets cut in half.
Mm.
Right.
So I didn't know if they brought in a separate line for just that router, or, I'll just go over and look. next
I don't
time.
think they brought in a separate line, no.
Okay,
But
because we're paying for, I think, a gig speed.
probably.
So-
But we shouldn't be taking anything off of
Okay.
that part, I mean, again, the locks. And I haven't got those operational yet, so there's really nothing going on.
You guys have anything for us, any other questions?
Not that I know of.
We're putting together our schedule for fundraisers next year, so
Okay.
I think the first one's gonna be in March, maybe, but we've done well so far.
Well,
That's good.
Saturday, or Sunday morning I went down, and yeah, I thought it was a good crowd.
Yeah. It surprised me, because I'm thinking Sunday morning,
Yeah.
Right.
nobody gonna be around, but,
And then we weren't here for the trunk or treat, but I guess that was a
We,
good turnout too.
I had heard that it was a little lower than last year, but I think it was still
once
pretty
again, I
decent.
didn't know.
Seemed
anything
like there
about it.
weren't as many
Yeah.
kids this year, but still, I mean, there was quite a few.
Yeah, I asked Stephen at the bazaar, I know you all had a little bit less on the number of people that came to the fire department, but that was the same down at the square too.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
Our person that runs our social media, him and his wife are the ones that usually take care of all that, and now that they've opened a shop in town, they were at the shop.
Yeah.
so, But,
They just keep partnering in different ways, because I know at least like the trunk or treat and you all doing the spaghetti dinners are
Yeah.
great.
yeah, dinners have been the big fundraiser, such as golf sessions.
Good, good. So just if there's future ways that we can.
Mark Vernon Fire is no longer doing the 4th of July pancake breakfast,
Oh.
so we're going to take over that.
So
So,
Steve told me that,
Yeah.
yes, they're not gonna do it anymore.
Nope.
And I think that's a great opportunity for anybody who wants to, yes.
yeah, that's why we picked it up, so.
Okay.
Well, yeah, when you guys get a complete schedule, let us know and we'll help get the word out any way we can.
I do have a public notice I need to send out. What's the best way to do that for the town? This is the first one I've ever had to deal with.
For,
Our The rate schedule for our billing, got changed by the fire marshal's office. They set what the limits are on it for what we can bill when we get called to a residence, which is different than what people pay insurance for. So technically speaking, someone has a fire, a car wreck, whatever, there's a fee that the fire department can bill to those individuals. And most of them turn it into their insurance companies, and the insurance only pays what the insurance is gonna pay. But since that has increased, we have to publicly notify everybody that it's been increased.
Is it a public notice or a legal notice?
I don't know, that's,
I'm asking.
oh, well,
In public, you
But-
just put in 3 places, like.
Yeah,
we
pub,
were doing?
sometimes public notices, all you have to do is post it in 3 places. But
Yes.
legal notice,
legal notice has to go in the paper.
That's right.
It's something I'm not familiar with at all,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
I mean, if it's posting, we can help with that really.
Yeah.
Get to the right email here.
But a legal notice will take a little bit more.
You'll notice just call.
Well, are you the only ones that it has raised, or is it all the fire departments?
This is for the whole state of Indiana.
Oh, the whole state,
Right.
okay. So if it's gonna be a legal notice,
Well,
then
it's-
it should be just not you guys.
Yeah, then there ought to be somebody doing it statewide.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, they would, yeah. Okay, well, just let us know. We'll help you in any way we can.
It says public notice. So,
I think the public notice, you just.
Public notice, you print it, we put it on the door, put it on the door at the post office,
okay.
Put one like on the door, yeah. on
things
the
like that.
Okay.
And that's
door,
all we
at
have
the
to
fire
do.
station, the post office, and.
Yeah,
And up here.
yeah, legal notice has to go through the paper and have tolling periods and all that.
So you might just check on it and make sure.
Yeah, if you can get it to us, well, we'll help print it, put it up, that's easy.
Okay. Does Stephen have your email?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get it from him and I'll just email it to you.
If he doesn't, he's got my text
Okay.
number, he can text it.
Perfect. Sure. I'm also the treasurer of the department, too, so
Good,
I wear many hats. So.
Maybe.
that's what you do. But that's great.
Assistant chief, training officer, and treasurer,
And IT guy.
and IT.
And IT guy, wow, that's good. All right, anything else? Okay.
Unless you got $80,000 for it.
Well, sorry.
Not tonight.
All right, well, let's get to some of the things we have on our agenda because we've got a lot of action items still to take care of.
You good with me then?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
that's what, you need to go
Thank you.
ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
You all getting
You too.
All right, start with the next level trails project. I have some paperwork and some things we need to work on. Get it all in front of me. What I asked them to do was to give me their final pay application and their retainage application. So I could bring it before the meeting tonight, and get it moving, and thereby get to the closeout project with DNR, because DNR's deadline was December. I made contact with them in October. They told me they'd get back to me, and they haven't yet. So I feel like I'm gonna try to make their deadline. If they don't, so be it. As far as Dave O'Mara's work, they still have some things to finish. Some of them I think they tried to do today. They have some other things to do that they said tomorrow. The new benches and trash cans and things like that were the biggest things that we're waiting on, and they arrived yesterday. They'll find a crew to put them in next week. And then the punch list is finally getting wrapped up. Some of it is still administrative and paperwork things, but by and large, the work is getting caught up like it's supposed to be. And with the pay applications, like I said, we have a final pay app that gets them paid today, and then a pay app for retainage. And I'd like 2 separate motions, one for each. And then I'll go ahead and tell you that we'll pay them the payment today with the retainage check. We can get it written, but I will not hand it to them until everything is done on the punch list. But what I was I'm wanting to do is get this all in minutes, get everything done, and then we have the check register to be able to, and the final dollar amounts and pennies, dollars and pennies to work with the DNR. Now, prior to this, when I did the last change order last month, I neglected to include the allowance that we had left over. And I thought we were gonna finish at a balance of about 3,000 unspent, because I neglected to think about the allowance. We're gonna end up actually at $18,000 unspent. So I didn't go over, it's a good thing. I'm just not, DNR asked us to break it down as best we could, and I got to $3,000, but I forgot about the allowance. It means we could have spent a little more money, but at the same time, we thought of about everything we could, as far as extra benches and extra things, and, concrete here, concrete there, and so that's
Were
where we
allowed-
stand.
Were we allowed to have an administrative fee?
I asked them if we could keep the excess money for maintenance.
I'm sure they said that.
Yeah.
They said no.
Well, we didn't get an administrative fee on that grant.
We mean
I
administrative.
mean, typically on a grant like that, you get like somewhere between 3 and 5% to administer everything.
Well, we kind of did, and then we got it early and kept the interest.
Yeah.
This isn't quite like some of the other, I know what you're saying. Yes, this one did not have an administrative.
I was just thinking if we could figure out a way to say that we needed it for that. And we could always use the money.
Thing is, they want to spend on physical objects
Oh.
on, that's what I meant by them. They said more benches and things, and I
What
said,
about-
can we send it on maintenance?
Yes,
They
did we
said,
talk
no.
about putting a kayak, rack down by the phones?
Or what about the playground? Get it like a new slide or something?
Well, the problem is we're pushing the boundaries of the trail.
It has to be an amenity for the trail.
Yeah, they really, we're pushing the boundaries of the trail if we go doing things at the playground or.
Build a launch ramp down there as part of that.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Could we replace the roof on the shelter at the commons?
They wouldn't let us spend it on the first go around, so I don't think they would.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, see, they wouldn't let us do any maintenance work in the grant on like that. They won't let us keep it for maintenance on the trail.
Okay, or can we just do, we could buy like maybe a year's supply worth of trash bags for the trash cans? They won't let us do anything like that?
I don't think so. They really talked about physical items. And we sat down with the park board more than anybody and went through all the different ideas and things we could do. And we used up about all of them. I can't, we put in more benches, more concrete.
Can we replace that bench that was broken?
That was part of it.
Oh,
That's part of it. That's getting new slats. Yeah, I just kind of ran out of things. And it wasn't until earlier this week that I caught the allowance issue. And so we're not finishing it in the hole.
Right.
So that's
yeah,
good.
I know, that's good, I just don't.
But, yeah, I wish we thought of it sooner, but we're so close to the closeout now. I know O'Meara's doesn't want to do anymore. They had it in their bailiwick for 2 years, and they don't want to do it anymore. If I went to them and asked them for a change for something,
They're ready to be done with you, Brad.
they're ready to be done with me.
Maybe we should put a slide on the lookout here.
Yeah, water slide into the river.
All right, so pay app number 6 to pay them today is for $128,997.89.
Okay, how much in?
$128,997.89.
Okay.
That's pay application number 6. Pay application number 7 is for their retainage, and it'll be $113,997.89.
139.97.
Oops, I gave you the wrong, back up. I gave you the wrong dollar amount on number 6. I looked at the wrong line.
Okay, good.
The current payment due for pay app number 6 is $76,015.71.
Okay, so we pay we have 113,000 so and some in that grant.
Right,
So we pay the 76 out of that,
correct.
and then,
And then I asked DNR specifically about the additional, there's about 90,000 they never funded us. And that's when she said, well, we'll take care of it when we settle up for you.
okay, I was gonna say, because we don't have that much.
I know. That's what I was trying to get at. That's why we're not giving them, well, we won't even write the retaining check, I guess, because we can't write.
And we can write the check, but there's not, we better.
I don't want to
before the
show a
end of the
negative
year.
balance in the fund.
I don't think we can at the end of the calendar year. We're supposed to have everything. I mean, you have to borrow from another fund to cover it, and we don't want to do that.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Okay, so we won't write that check yet, but we'll have the pay app approved. Okay?
Okay.
And then change order 7 is the change order that eliminates the allowance, takes the contract balance down, that matches that retainage. Okay? So there's 3 separate motions is what
Okay, change order number 7, they'll balance it out.
yes, we'll take care of the reconciliation for the allowance so that we have the final contract.
I make a motion to approve pay app number 6 for 76,000.
Okay?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Pay app 7.
I'll make a motion to, isn't pay app 7, is that the change order or the retainage?
Pay app 7 is the retainage
Okay,
for $113,997.89.
okay, I'll make a motion for pay app number 7 for the retainage of $113,997.89.
Motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then a motion on change order 7, which is the reconciliation for the allowance that wasn't used.
I'll make a motion for the change order. Final change order.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions on that? Okay. Then, Okra Sewer Project, we have a pay application from lawyers, and we also have a bill from Services. And I think they need to be 2 separate motions. The pay application for lawyers is for $197,554.63. And the balance to finish for them then is $266,000 and something. And we are still working on some deduct change orders. We had a list that went out in an email back in October of about 8 different items that we're still waiting to get solid pricing on everything, where we should be able to make some changes for work that wasn't done and make some changes in the project to bring it back down and save every penny we can. Because they ran into more rock on Ripley Street than was expected. And that's because the original drawings that showed Ripley Street Station showed a big concrete base underneath it. It's anti-flotation base, basically a big concrete circle and gap like this. Well, it wasn't there. They had hammered down the rock and then just set the station on top of the rock. So they had to take out all that extra rock from where that concrete base would have been. Okay, so we need a motion on that, and how much was the subsidy? Bill, you had that. I mean, they need to be two separate motions. No, you have it in front of you.
Oh, you got it, there it is.
I'll make a motion to approve lawyer's pay app number 2.
I'll second. Okay. Motion and second, all in favor? Okay. And then Xerxes pay app is for the amount of $18,486.40.
I'll make a motion to pay the Xerxes pay app number 2.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions on that project? All right, soccer rental agreement. I don't know what to say on that.
Brad, I looked it up, I've got it. You said that you had sent to me, and it's a 10-year contract, so we're basically just.
Oh, it's
locked
10
in for
years.
10 years, yeah.
When was it
200,
signed?
it started 2020, but started, it ends in 2030.
Okay,
It's all there.
Okay, so-
Yeah, but, so yeah, $200 a year, and I can't find the signed contract, but it's,
yeah, I don't.
10 years beginning January 1st, 2021, and ending on December 31st, 2030.
Okay.
So I think it was May 2020, it started
Yeah,
January
okay.
1st. And then the other is $1 per year. I don't think we've been collecting $1 for the grounds. But yeah,
Okay.
10 years.
Okay.
So obviously, not a whole lot we can do.
Yeah. Asking for a dollar bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, who seconded on Xerxes? John or
Jeff?
What?
No,
who seconded
yeah.
on Xerxes?
Oh,
Jeff
sorry.
made the second.
That would be-
Okay, park board and everything's been covered. Gym updates, just that it's been busy down here. Calendar's getting full in November, December. Surprises me how much. I think there's 3 groups here Saturday and 3 groups Sunday. Maintenance and repairs. Trying to figure out how to winterize some things, and we don't have any heat in the men's bathroom, which I guess there was a quote maybe last year for $900 and some to fix the heater. I talked to Halls today, and they're trying to help us think of a way to do something different and cheaper any way we can to just limp it along. I came down the other day when it got so cold, propped the door open and just turned the water on the dribble, and that's all I had to know. And then found out the alumni heater doesn't work at all, but that's a power issue, and we're gonna try to get it. Railroad bridge. I met with the railroad. As you may recall, we had the public notice and the diagram showing the use, but talked over with them and figured out a better way, not a better way, if you will, expressed our needs. They're planning to, instead of trying to do so much construction on site, they want to build the bridge off-site somewhere else and bring it in by rail, and then lift it in with a crane, so that'll save a lot of the disturbance. But basically, they offered, and we'll get all this in writing, but they would build a boat ramp for us and contribute to a maintenance account for us as part of the project. And I said, that's a good deal for them. So we can get a boat ramp that the fire department has been asking for, plus maybe some other improvements and maintenance money.
Awesome.
We'll we'll get it all in writing. But yeah, I thought that was a good.
Yeah, good trade.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You know, I'm sure we all got the letter from FPDH about some kind of thing they were doing down there for the railroad.
That's what that was, yes.
Okay.
Archaeological study is part of it.
That's what it was. Was that the reason why all the flags are down there?
I'm guessing, we were out of town and somebody sent me a text asking, and I said, I'm guessing that's.
Because, I mean, there's a lot of, you know.
Yeah, all those orange flags.
Yeah, what they did is what's called a shovel test. They don't do any drilling or anything. They just probe and kind of look for arrowheads and whatever other evidence might be. We can ask them and, or just pull flags up as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, I was just curious what
Sure.
that was.
But I think that's what it was that letter about the archaeology.
Well, I know I got the letter and then I saw
And
the
then-
flags and I
yeah.
thought.
I'm sure
Hopefully
that's
that's what that was, but I thought, hopefully they're not planning on doing anything maintenance wise.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know that, yeah. I can check with them, but I should assume that's all it was. The SS4A grant, we still don't have a signed agreement. I signed it, sent it back, but I think between the shutdown and other reasons. But Jeff and I set up an RFP for consultants, and he's got some ideas for names, and I do too, so that we can at least keep that part of it moving, so when we do get the contract in place, we're a step ahead. And part of the RFP is telling the consultant, we don't plan to spend all of it. They have to know it going.
I haven't had a chance to read it, so I apologize for that, but did we have any language in there about an ADA transition plan or any of the other kind of pieces like that that we can use the funding for to address?
I can add that in. There's no reason we can't.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty,
I think if we can add that, because I know it's allowable under the grant funds.
you think so?
I know so from
Okay.
early reading about the grant, and then I think technically we're supposed to have one, so if that can knock that out as a requirement.
Okay, I'll make a note. Good idea.
Okay.
I mean, I did a number of those plans. But if we can get it done
Within this.
with that, that's easy.
Yeah.
Okay. On the new business, Vernon Gym, the wastewater study we went through. Vernon Gym fundraiser, so everybody still knows we have Black Friday with Rusty Bladen set up for the Friday after Thanksgiving. The Friends of Historic Vernon is the sponsor. And so they're gonna have to pay the town a smaller rental fee like everybody else does. We've sold some tables, but we can stand to sell a lot more tickets. So if you know anybody and any groups, we wanna make a big deal out of it for sure. And try to get as many people as possible, and then hopefully that'll open us up to other people wanting to do things like this, especially fundraisers. And we've got a lot of good publicity, but need to sell more tickets. Okay, and I had a thing here on the Marshall truck and equipment. I got the truck back from Britt and didn't realize the truck is a full-blown police special. And the equipment is all full-blown police equipment, like bulletproof vests and tasers and radios and more than I imagined. He even told me, be careful driving it, that you don't get pulled over by the state police because you're not supposed to be driving it. So anyway, it made me think. I parked it in the garage, locked up now. It really made me think, what are we going to do with this in the future? We've been lucky that Britt was qualified as well as being an elected official. But in the future, are we going to have somebody that is qualified to use and train and it made me really think about it. I mean, an elected official, as marshal, has powers of arrest. But that doesn't necessarily mean they should use those powers. I'm really concerned about liability.
Yeah.
Really concerned about liability. And if we give all this equipment to an elected marshal, then we are assuming all that liability. And I'm not so sure we shouldn't think really hard about divesting of some of this. And I don't know where the truck came from, it's paid for there as I know.
I didn't know it was so high tech. I didn't.
It's,
Yeah, it's paid
it's a
for.
2019 or something, it doesn't even have 5,000 miles on it.
He never drove that.
And it's a full-blown Hemi, engine and everything, bell and whistle and lights and sirens and
We
everything.
bought it with the Hoyt money, is what we did.
Was it?
Yeah, when the county gave us, done the Hoyt thing, well, we couldn't use it for anything except for,
Yeah.
all we had
Oh,
was the marshal to spit it on.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, he was getting, police cars, the old sheriff's cars or something.
Oh, sure.
Like that, Steve. And they were breaking down or, matter of fact, we had one just sitting down there by, the old funeral home or, just had it sitting there, so when people came into town, they slowed down.
I remember that.
You know? But,
Can you have all that stuff removed? So we could use it?
You spend a lot more doing that.
Or could we sell
And
it?
strip all the value.
you could probably sell it to another police.
It'd have to go to
Yeah.
a qualified.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe that's what we ought to do.
Well, I'm not suggesting you do it tonight, but I think hard about it, and maybe in December. I couldn't come across a set value for it. John Jones in Salem specializes in it. If you want, I can run it by him and find out. And then they could be a broker who could make sure it goes to the right people too.
I'm wondering,
Us trying.
I'd have to look at this, but under the statute, we may have to have some sort of valuation done
Okay.
to be, because, so you sell it for at least its market value.
Not just declare it surplus.
Right, I think, because it's not really surplus.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Now, I'd have to look at the statute on that, but that just, my first thought.
Well, if you'd like me to check.
I mean, in other words, you just can't sell it to the North Vernon Police Department for $5,000. Correct. That's
what I kind of thought.
That's what I'm saying, yeah,
Yeah.
you got
And I don't know that we want to get into the business of trying to sell it and figure out, cost.
no.
I'd rather, if you'd like, I can check with this John Jones and maybe see if they could give us a valuation and be a broker to make sure it goes to somebody that's qualified to buy it.
And see, Brett's the only town marshal we've ever had, or in my time, that was qualified to use something like that. Yeah.
Well, I think he had, like Everett Miles probably was.
Way back.
Yeah.
Ever like back in the 60s or 70s. Yeah.
And we might get somebody again, but maybe we just start from scratch if we do, because, again, I'm concerned about the liability. I really, I mean, if we,
Well, a couple times in past years, the council had to tell the marshal we couldn't carry a gun, some things like that. And I'm going way back here. There were a couple marshals that were, you didn't want to have them having a gun. Trust me on that. And so they asked them to back off. Yeah.
well, I can contact them, think about it, if you will, and maybe in December we can,
I think it's all the weaponry though is the taser, I believe.
right, he had his own,
He has his own.
the town did his
Yeah.
own firearm.
Yeah, we didn't provide him firearms.
But
But
all
even
kinds
with
of
the
other
taser, we
things.
could get into some trouble, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you could get in trouble with a lot of things.
Yeah,
Well, I think
taser, the
like the
handcuffs.
taser though, I'm not sure, I think it might have been donated
Well, yeah, we could sell just the truck and the other things, we could, I mean, the other things we could probably call surplus, because, like a bulletproof vest,
Yeah,
things like that. we could-
Well, those kind of go out of
yeah, I was talking
For when
about,
they do expire.
I was thinking about the truck.
Right, but the truck and everything attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Kendall Tree Clearing, they're the ones that damaged the grinder pump in Indian Hills and the water meter and tore everything up. And finally, today, they answered back to me. The girl who had taken the claim previously quit and left everybody at the company and that risk management section hanging. And we're not the only ones that they're trying to catch up to, but at least they got me now and a star on it.
So you feel
I feel better.
better?
I feel
Do
a whole
you,
lot better.
do you want me involved?
I'll let you know, but I feel a
Okay.
whole lot
But
better.
I'm gonna keep this.
If I hadn't talked to him today, you were gonna be involved.
Because my next move would be to, you know,
Yeah.
that I would send them something and say, hey, we need to deal with this, we need to get this done, or we're gonna take action against this.
If they hadn't answered the phone today,
All right,
you were gonna get it
Oh,
tonight.
okay.
That's why I had it on the agenda.
all right, good deal.
Yep. Right-of-way ordinance. I passed that out to everybody. Jeff managed to get it converted. I did just a little bit more formatting and a couple things to it, sent it to everybody so you can look it over, but I think it's important that we get this adopted before we have the same problem we had in the past. With people tearing things up. So, again, I think it's ready to go. You need to do
You need to have two motions.
two motions.
The first one is to consider it on first reading, motion second, and pass it unanimously, and then somebody would move to adopt it. Yeah.
So I'll leave it up to you guys.
I'll make a motion to, is it to waive the first reading?
Oh, it's to suspend the
To
rule,
suspend the
but not,
rule,
yeah, or to consider it on first
Consider
reading
it.
is probably better, yeah.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and a second. Call for a vote.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous? And the next motion would be to adopt the ordinance.
I'll make a motion to adopt the right-of-way ordinance.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Good, thank you. And I don't know how to number it, let that empty for you guys.
Mary Jo's got the numbers, I think. We need to talk about the salary ordinance too. Everybody
Yes.
should have one of those.
Yep.
It's exactly like it is right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody wanted to make any changes to it. But figured I'll let you do it.
And it'd be the same process, you know, to pass it.
Here we go, this is your stuff.
I'll make a motion to consider the salary ordinance on first reading.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then I guess you need to do another.
Then I'll make a motion to accept the salary ordinance as presented for 2026.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, wait a minute, I got behind here. So Jeff motioned to consider the salary ordinance on the first reading, John seconded it,
Mm-hmm.
then who made the motion to accept?
Me.
Amber.
And then I want to bring up too, we really should be paying Brad the gym keeper fee because he's been doing all the work since Trish left. Do we want to start that?
And Brad and I talked about this on the phone today, there's no prohibition against that. The
No.
$5,000 that came up under the statute, that's paying a relative of the township trustee.
Yeah, because when I called about
So,
the State Board of Accounts about me doing,
yeah,
bookkeeper.
they said it was fine,
Yeah, as long as,
yeah.
you know.
So there's no problem with it, and there's no limit on what he can be
Yeah.
paid, yeah.
mean, I can, I kind of feel,
Yeah, I mean.
we all
Brad's doing
volunteer
it.
to do a lot.
Did you
That
have
does
a
a lot.
motion to, oh, Amber made the motion to adopt the.
Yes, the salary.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm on.
Yeah, it's on the salary ordinance.
And it's on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So,
I will write up a scope of work maybe for it, just so.
there's like
There's a
page
job
after
description.
page after page of stuff for that.
There is? Oh, please give it to me then.
You don't know.
I know I'm slacking now.
Yeah. Well, I don't want everybody thinking that the next mayor, or whoever is someday, has to do these things as well.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a clear separation, so.
I
And I
have
will, though.
I have it somewhere.
Okay, I'll get this to Reedy though too, because they had a little different numbers on some of this.
Well, they had just what was coming out of sewer.
Okay.
That's why those numbers look
Did you
funny.
second the
Well,
motion to pay?
John made the motion and, did I make it?
You second.
And I made the second.
Right?
Yeah, so they did the salary on only what comes out of the sewer fund.
no, they took it all and then split it by half,
Oh, they did?
but they also had Wayne's name and they had,
Oh.
they didn't have
That's
like.
because they were looking
That's
at.
because I was looking at 220.
Exactly, that's why I wanna get them this, so they
Okay.
understand where it really is
Okay.
going. And then we're not doing the 3%, so that's another thing that they can adjust. That's why I was gonna get it. Okay, trying to get to the rest of this. All right, and high school intern, nothing really to bring up there. Town comments, I don't have anything else, well, hold on. One thing, Christy Ziegler asked that I attend a basketball game and they will present us with a check. Girls basketball game. So I'll go to that, I think, November 21st. That's only next Friday. You're gonna be gone? Yeah, I'll go. Okay, I'm done. Next, John.
Okay, the Harp House will be, supposed to be on the next agenda for the ABC. For a show cause hearing. They're still working on the, I can't remember that guy's name. The house down there by the roadhouse. It's got the tire.
Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
That's on the list of things? That house?
Which one?
Yeah, see, he passed away and then,
Oh,
yeah,
I could list a couple other places that are a lot worse than that.
that's what I think so too.
well, they had, they
it's
got
not-
tires in the back of the house.
That's
or back of the stuff like that. And they're supposed to come and, have an auction. And I don't know whatever happened to that.
It fell through. Wayne mentioned it to me the other day, that they moved everything from the auction to the other building, and they didn't have the auction.
And they even went to the, county commissioners and asked to use the parking lot and all this and that. I never did see it happen, but I thought, maybe I just didn't see it happen.
Right.
I've been getting some complaints from Steve Combest, but he was here at another meeting, and I'm pretty sure that when we talked to him and stuff, the advice was that if he's having trouble with barbers, he needs to go to the lawyer.
yeah,
Is that correct?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that has anything to do with the town right of way or alley or anything.
Well, I mean, he's talking about Mike burning things and other things, but as long as he's not burning something he's not allowed to burn, then he
Right.
needs to, if it's bothering his house, he needs to call the fire department.
If he thinks it's a private nuisance, then he's got remedies, but, you know.
I just wanna make sure I heard that right before
I think you did. I think we told him there just wasn't
Mhm.
anything we could do.
I think that's pretty much it.
Okay?
I don't have too much. Amber had mentioned think the numbers were a little bit down for the trunk or treat and the toilet paper in the courthouse lawn, but overall it was a good evening. We had good support from the library and some other folks in the trunk or treat, and I think everyone who was, they had a great time. Not too worried about the numbers, honestly.
No.
It's a fun time,
It
regardless.
seemed really busy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I drove by here.
They did a good job.
Great, and you-
There were 4 leaf blowers with toilet paper on paint rollers this year instead of 1, so that was fun.
Crazy.
The only other thing I wanted to ask about and just general thoughts. So through work, I had a chance to meet a professor at Purdue who works in the horticulture and landscape architecture department, and he is interested in doing in some community or in around the state and doing some kind of very short design charrette along with some students who have since graduated and would volunteer their time as landscape architect professionals. And I didn't know if anyone is familiar with what a charrette is or has an interest in seeing the town explore whether or not they might want to come down and do something like that in Vernon. I don't know what opportunities that would present us as a town to do something like that. I know we long time ago Dan did one with Ball State in the 90s.
Can you spell that for me?
Yeah, CHARETTE. Brad, do you want to talk more about what a charrette is and would be? Because it sounds like you might be as familiar as I am or more.
Yeah, it's a, long and short is probably, it's a student project out of a university where a professor will guide students to volunteer and build a portfolio, if you will, and in this case, landscape architecture, but architects do it a lot, engineers sometimes will, and of sample projects that the town could implement.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get out of it, is basically, if you get a plan or you might just get some drawings.
Mm-hmm.
But the one from Ball State, we found some of those
Yeah.
foam boards here recently, and one of them had something like the overlook that we eventually ended
Oh, I
up
see,
with.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
The things that were in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was their presentation. Somewhere there might be a document that explains it, probably gives cost estimates, justifications, etc. It's interesting. It's a good thing for them to do. It's up to you guys. You know,
He told me this wouldn't be students. They're all alumni of the program that he teaches in, and so he said they'd be bona fide, credentialed, practicing professionals.
usually it's students.
Yeah, and I think he's got a slightly different model in mind, but it's helpful for me to hear what the outcomes are because we talked about it and I was like, that sounds cool from a community engagement piece, but is that something that's useful for anybody in the long run? So I can just respond to the initial conversation we had. I told him I'd send him an email if we had any interest and just learn more, and then I can bring it back in December because I don't think it'd be something that would happen very quickly. Does anyone have other thoughts, John? You look like you're listening.
Well, I guess my thing is, I hate for them to waste, I don't know if that's the right word, waste, but for them to use their time here
That
on something that we would probably never do.
And that's gonna be one of my questions is this the right size of community that would be worthwhile for time exploring different ideas and the ability to execute some of those projects long term?
Well, just for the simple fact that me and Amber talked about this before, where, it's nice you have people come in and want to do things for you, do this, do this.
Yeah.
But then again,
You gotta
we
maintain.
don't have the
Right.
people to maintain all this.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
so, there's what I'm saying as far as,
Yeah.
they come in, they do a really nice job.
I don't think there was ever any benefit from that one.
From the one we did it.
I don't believe so. I don't know if you were on the council, John.
No.
Okay, I think it was just done
Yeah.
and that was it.
Okay.
Just
But
kinda-
it would be something where they could look at the art and history part and maybe develop a plan that we could pass to the park board and then would give them something to maybe.
I'll I'll
Or
have
the
a conversation with them and just see, like, because I want to, like you said, I want to make sure that's worth their time.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask, because we didn't get into, like, what would be worth your time, what would you all want to get out, especially if you've got folks who are working and volunteering some of their time, like, when they could be working jobs where they get paid. So, and he's done this in a previous role up in Wisconsin. It's his first time talking about wanting to do this in Indiana, now that he works at Purdue and has been there for 7 years. So he also wants this to be a really good first year out when they do it. So I'll have a conversation and see if we can be a good first year out, or if they need to talk.
The only things, the two things I could think of the most would be either the Commons or the Art and History Park, simply because
Yeah.
that would be, to me, a
Those are
natural
trouble
place.
spaces.
Yeah, could be some, and also could stand, and that would give us something we could apply for grant funding.
Back to the maintenance question.
But that, yeah. Well, we're done with it. Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay, I'll find out more and report back in December, but
Okay.
I do plan to have a real honest conversation about whether that's a good fit for either side. So I appreciate the thought. Yeah, I was a little starry-eyed and I was like, would be interested. I was like, I'll get back to you. Okay, that's it for me. Sorry to take so long.
That's all right. Amber?
This has been a while ago, I actually got a quote from the guy that did, my dad's driveway on doing the alleys. The 3 alleys, the one it's actually behind my dad's house, that one's used a lot. Then the one over by your house that,
Going past the Mexican restaurant, or the other alley?
no, the
past
other one,
between Jean and the
Jeannie's,
other house.
yeah, that one's used a
Jeannie,
lot.
yeah.
And then the one down by, Britt's old house.
Mhm.
Anyway, he measured them and he said they were all about the same. If he supplied the gravel and dug it all up and everything, he said it was gonna be like $4,000 per alley. Which is a lot, but he does a great job. But I told him I would bring it, I figured we didn't have the money. And then the other thing, was the company that does our pay.gov, where people can pay their water bills. They wanted to know if we were interested in getting a program where we can email all of our customers, and I said probably not, but I thought I would bring it, just make sure everybody, we don't even have everyone's email, so you can send out messages. Not the bills.
Not the bill.
Now, we can buy that program from Boyce, but it's real expensive. So anyway, something to think about, that's all.
That it? Mary Jo?
Just a quick, we're not doing G-Works. Are we not wanting to pay for G-Works? We're not using it, we're not.
There's
We
nothing
need a bill?
Yes, the bill would be from January.
There's nothing in G-Works.
There's nothing in, yeah.
And they didn't transfer any of the stuff from PubWorks to G-Works.
Well, let me see it, because I've been asking them what our renewal date was, and they never answered.
Renewal for January 1st of 2026.
Okay.
And the date was 11/1, but
You just
see
see,
date at 12/1.
they keep sending me all this marketing stuff to use G-Works, and I keep answering, tell me when our renewal date is and what it costs, and nobody ever answers. So here, this must have just come in November, wanting $3,600 to continue. In my opinion, no.
In my opinion, no.
We were sold a bill of goods
Yeah.
Well,
for.
I will continue to extract the limited information it has out of it.
Okay.
Don't know if we can ever use it, but I'll extract it, so I'll make myself an upload.
And then we'll call them and after you get that done and tell them, I don't think we need to vote on that, do we?
No, I don't don't think we need to call them, we
Just don't pay them.
just don't pay them. Anything else?
No.
Okay, Brad?
Two things, as I said before, I won't be here next month, but, you know, anything after the meeting you can get to me. Number two, I recently became aware that under Indiana law, I believe that if the town passes a resolution saying that you don't have the funds and resources to maintain sidewalks, if somebody falls, that may limit your liability.
Well,
Now,
somebody's bound to fall.
It came up, I think, in some litigation involving North Vernon that I don't know everything about. So my suggestion is, let me try to figure that out a little bit. And if I can, and if I think it's the wise thing to do, which it probably is based on what I know, I will send a resolution down. Doesn't have to be an ordinance, just a resolution down to Mary Jo for next month.
Okay.
I know it sounds a little strange,
No.
but when you're saying we can't afford to take on the responsibility, then in my opinion, what that does, it makes it difficult for them to say, well, you have this duty of care, and therefore, you know, you were negligent. But you're saying by this resolution, we can't afford to do it. And I don't remember in this litigation what North Vernon had done.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I remember it went on for years,
Okay.
like something like that would.
It may be, and am I thinking about that right? That
If it's the one I remember them talking about more than once, I'm thinking that's how they were, yeah. I think that's,
I think it came out in their favor, although I think there was an issue about whether they had made the resolution. I don't remember. Yeah, okay.
I just
okay.
remember the incident, and they talked about it more than once,
Okay,
and it was a claim
yeah,
that was in front of them for a long time.
yeah, and it ended up in litigation,
Yes.
and I think maybe North Vernon was ruled in favor of. So I'll do that, that's,
Okay.
That's great.
yes. Because even though we have insurance, you know, it's,
Then are you obligated to fix it? You know, we have to take out a loan.
right,
Oh, yeah.
right. Okay, that's all I have.
I think it's everything that we know at this point. I think there's one last motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the claims for the month of October.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, adjourned at,
Okay, so
one more motion, I'm
I
sorry.
make a motion to adjourn.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
8:32, 2 hours tonight.
well,
You were in the
reading
lane.
presentation.
Second.
And Wayne.
Yeah.
I know.
I made a motion, or no,
You made a
yeah, I made the
motion.
motion and then Jeff
It's 37
seconded.
o'clock.
And then Jeff and John did the.
Yeah,